Welcome to today's lesson. We want to talk about roughage and water now that we've dealt with all the food nutrients, that is carbohydrates, proteins, fats and oils, vitamins, and minerals. Now, roughage and water are not food nutrients, but they are important food substances. So, why are they so important? Let's start with water. Now, water is not a nutrient, but it is needed for our survival and also for the survival of all living things. In actual fact, the human body is made up of 70% water. So, when you look at the various organs and tissues in the human body, most of it contain at least 70 to 80% of water. Okay, so this diagram here summarizes some organs that contain a lot of water. So 70% of the entire human body is made up of water. So without the water, it would just be dry bones and dry materials. Now, what are some of the functions of water? One, it serves as a medium through which substances are transported into and out of a cell. So substances need a liquid medium for them to be able to be moved from a cell to the outer bodies or from outer bodies into the cells. So water plays an important role in that aspect. Two, it provides the medium for metabolic activities. And remember, we talked about metabolic activities being the chemical reactions and activities that take place in the cells of the body. So all these reactions need a liquid medium to also be carried out. Three, it protects the cells and tissues of the body. So water keeps the tissues moist. If you can imagine how your eyeballs would be without water around it, it would be very dry. So this moist nature of most of the tissues helps to protect it one way or the other. Four, it helps to regulate the body's temperature. So we sometimes sweat a lot. For example, an athlete, after performing a vigorous activity, will be sweating a lot. The sweat allows the athlete to cool down. Okay, the sweat allows the athlete to cool down after engaging in a vigorous activity. So this helps to regulate temperature. Five, it helps to transport substances in and out of the body. So the transport is not only in and out of the cell, but the human body itself. So for example, perspiration is the same as sweating. Okay, and then urination, when we are passing out urine, or defecating, that is when we are emptying the bowels. So water plays an important role in ensuring that these substances are removed from the body. And also, when we take in food, we usually take food in liquid form. Okay, and that liquid form allows it to be able to move down the esophagus to the digestive system much easily. So water plays an important role in that aspect. Six, it helps to maintain osmotic balance. Osmotic balance means there is a normal concentration between the cells and its surrounding bodies. So if the cells in the human body had a higher concentration environment, the cells would be damaged, okay, through plasmolysis. So water helps to maintain that normal concentration of all the fluids that are around the human cells so that the cells are kept in shape. If the fluid around the cells are having a much lower concentration, the cells would swell up and become turgid. And if the concentration is too high, the cells would shrink and be damaged. So water helps to maintain osmotic balance. And seven, water aids in digestion and nutrient absorption. So water helps to dissolve the nutrients and minerals and make them accessible to the body, especially in the small intestines where nutrients are absorbed. They need the presence of water to dissolve these minerals and nutrients. So these are just a few functions of water, and this tells us why it is very important in our diet. How do we get water in the diet? We can get water from fruits like oranges, pineapples, watermelon, mangoes, and any other fruits that you can think of. We We can also get water from vegetables like tomatoes, cabbages, spinach, cucumber, etc. Or we can also take water in its raw form from tap water and other water bodies, or we can take it in the form of drinks and beverages. So these are some sources of water. Now let's talk about roughage. Roughage is also referred to as dietary fiber. Fiber can be spelled like this, Fibra. Now what is roughage? They are parts of food made up of cellulose material which do not digest. In other words, they are indigestible when eaten. So they are parts of food that do not digest, and they are made up of cellulose material. And what are some of the functions of roughage, and why do we need it so much in the diet? 1, it allows the bowels in the large intestines to be emptied easily. So roughage absorbs water and then swells into a gel that helps to keep the bowels moving, and also makes them soft and easy to pass out as feces. So it eases the bowel movement in the gut. 2, it prevents constipation by softening the feces. Now, constipation is a situation whereby you find it difficult to empty the bowels. So what roughage does is that it adds up to the undigested food in the large intestines, keeping it soft and moist, and allowing the bowels to move and then be emptied much easily. So it prevents constipation. And then 3, it reduces the risk of colon cancer. In the large intestine, water is absorbed from food which does not digest. And when water is absorbed and this undigested food does not move out easily, it can get stuck in the large intestines, and other toxic materials and substances can be added to it. So this can lead to colon cancer. But if there is enough roughage in the diet, it makes the undigested food in the large intestines much bulky and allows everything that is in there to move much easily and come out as feces. So it helps to prevent colon cancer. 4, it aids digestion and makes the stool or feces bulky. So throughout the digestion process, the roughage helps to remove cholesterol and toxic substances. So in other words, we can say that it helps to clean the digestive system by allowing easy movement throughout the gut. 5, it prevents obesity and diabetes. Now, roughage lowers the need for insulin by slowing down the absorption of glucose and preventing increase in blood sugar. Now, when there is too much sugar in the blood, it leads to diabetes. And insulin is a hormone which helps to reduce the amount of sugar that is in the blood. So roughage reduces the need for insulin by slowing down the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream. So you have less risk of getting diabetes if you have enough roughage in the diet. And then also roughage adds up to the food that we eat. It makes us feel full. So we don't have to eat too much carbohydrates in order to gain too much calories. So when you take in the roughage, even though it is not giving us any nutrients, it helps to make us feel full. So those who have obesity or those who are obese are always hungry and always feel like eating. So taking roughage helps to make them feel full and reduce the risk of taking in more carbohydrates that can worsen the situation. And then finally, it helps to retain water in the digestive tract. So as we said earlier on, it absorbs water and then makes it gel-like in substance. So in the large intestine, a lot of water is absorbed from the undigested food, but the roughage helps to retain that water so that it's not completely absorbed, allowing the bowels to move easily. So it helps to retain water in the digestive tract. So these are just some functions of roughage in the diet. Now let's talk about some key terms that we use whenever we are talking about food and then healthy nutrition. Cholesterol. Now, Cholesterol is a type of fat in the blood which is produced by the liver, or it can be obtained from the food that we eat. It is used to form cell tissues and also some hormones, but too much of it is bad for your health. Okay, so too much of this kind of fat can build up in the blood vessels, especially the arteries, and then block it, which can lead to so many health problems. And as we talked about earlier on, constipation occurs when bowel movements become less frequent and stools become difficult to pass. So sometimes the stool is dry, hard, and then very painful during movements, especially when you are trying to empty the bowels in the washroom. You find it difficult for the stools to come out. So that's constipation. And a calorie is actually a unit of energy obtained from food. So scientifically, we can define a calorie as the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So we get a lot of calories from the food that we eat, especially from carbohydrate foods. Obesity is a complex disease involving an excessive amount of body fat. So this happens when you take in more calories than you burn through exercise and normal daily activity. So the calories that we get from the food that we eat, that is the energy, needs to be used for carrying out daily activities and exercise. But if you don't use it, the body will convert it into fat, and that results in obesity, as you can see in this funny picture here. Then diabetes is a metabolic disease that causes high blood sugar, especially when your body is not able to produce enough insulin. Okay, so with diabetes, your body either doesn't make or use enough insulin, which is the hormone that reduces blood sugar. So how can we get roughage in the diet? We can get roughage from all kinds of fruits, example, orange, mangoes, pineapple, pawpaws, apples, and also from vegetables like cabbage, carrots, lettuce, spinach, cucumber, etc. And also from unpolished grains and cereals like maize, wheat, brown rice, oats, etc. Thank you.